You don't wake up thinking you're stepping into a daily spiritual battle. You're thinking about deadlines, responsibilities, family, and the thousand little pressures waiting for you. Yet somehow, before the day even ends, you feel drained, distracted, maybe even discouraged. What if that heaviness isn't random? What if you're caught in unseen warfare and didn't even realize it started the moment you opened your eyes? Here's the uncomfortable truth. You can love God and still walk around spiritually vulnerable. You can pray, read a verse, attend church, and still feel defenseless when mental attacks hit. The enemy's schemes are subtle, calculated, and patient. The wiles of the devil don't always show up as chaos. Sometimes they whisper doubt, fear, comparison, and quiet compromise. And if you're operating with passive faith, you may be leaving gaps in your protection without even knowing it. The fight for your soul isn't dramatic every day, but it is constant. The full armor of God isn't just a metaphor to admire, it's spiritual readiness for real pressure. There may be a missing piece in how you've been approaching it. That missing piece is often the difference between barely surviving and standing firm with spiritual strength. And once you see what's been overlooked, you won't just hope for victory in Christ. You'll start living armed for victory, recognizing the battle you're actually in. You can't win a battle you refuse to acknowledge. Every day, you step into a daily spiritual battle, whether you feel it or not. The unseen warfare doesn't announce itself with flashing lights. It shows up as irritation, temptation, distraction, or sudden doubt. One small thought, "You're not good enough," can spiral into hours of insecurity if you don't catch it. That's how the enemy's schemes operate: subtle, strategic, and perfectly timed. Spiritual vulnerability rarely feels dramatic. It feels normal. You scroll for just 5 minutes and lose an hour, then wonder why your mind feels foggy and restless. You skip time in the Word for a few days, and suddenly, mental attacks feel louder than the power of truth. The wiles of the devil thrive in those quiet compromises, in those moments when passive faith replaces spiritual readiness. And before you know it, you're feeling defenseless, wondering where your peace went. Here's the shift. Awareness changes everything. When you recognize that irritation at home, that pressure at work, or that sudden wave of fear might be part of the fight for your soul, you stop reacting blindly. You begin standing firm instead of spiraling. You start asking, where are the gaps in my protection? That question alone opens the door to discovering what it truly means to put on the full armor of God. And that's where things start to get strategic. The armor isn't decorative, it's strategic. You've probably heard about the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the gospel of peace, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit. But hearing about the full armor of God isn't the same as wearing it in your daily spiritual battle. Unseen warfare doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It presses in when you're tired, distracted, or trying to control everything. And here's something tender but powerful. Sometimes the missing piece isn't more effort, it's surrender. Not giving up, but releasing control and trusting the unfolding of life under divine authority. The belt of truth holds everything together, especially when mental attacks try to convince you that you must fix, manage, and predict every outcome. What if instead you tighten that belt by declaring, "I trust God with what I can't see"? That's the power of truth anchoring your heart. If this resonates with you, pause for a moment and comment, "I trust," as a declaration of faith. And while you're there, share your country and your current local time. It's a beautiful reminder that trust connects souls across the world in this unseen warfare. The shield of faith rises every time you choose surrender over anxiety. When fear about the future creeps in, when the fight for your soul feels heavy, you lift that shield by trusting instead of gripping tighter. That's how you begin overcoming the enemy, not by force, but by confident reliance. If this speaks to your heart, gently tap the like button so this message reaches someone else who feels spiritually vulnerable. And subscribe so you can continue this journey towards spiritual readiness, spiritual strength, and living truly armed for victory. Because there's still one more essential layer to uncover. Prayer is where the battle turns. You can understand every piece of the full armor of God and still feel stuck if you're not praying in the Spirit. Prayer isn't a closing ritual at the end of your day. It's where the battle actually turns. In this daily spiritual battle, prayer is what breathes life into everything you're wearing. Without it, even strong belief can slowly slip into passive faith, and that's often where unseen warfare quietly takes advantage. Praying in the Spirit isn't about dramatic words. It's about staying connected. It's waking up and saying, "Lord, steady my thoughts before mental attacks even start." It's sitting in your car before work and asking for wisdom and protection over your decisions. It's choosing to speak truth when irritation rises instead of letting the wiles of the devil guide your reactions. That kind of consistency in prayer and the Word begins closing the gaps in your protection. When prayer becomes daily, honest, and real, something changes inside you. You stop feeling defenseless because you know you're not fighting alone. You begin standing firm, not because life suddenly gets easy, but because your roots go deeper into an unshakable foundation. This is how you move from surviving the fight for your soul to walking in victory in Christ, empowered by the Spirit and truly armed for victory. You now see it more clearly. This daily spiritual battle is real, even when it feels invisible. Unseen warfare doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It moves quietly through thoughts, emotions, and distractions. But you are not called to walk into it spiritually vulnerable. You are called to stand firm. And that begins with choosing to put on the full armor of God every single day. The belt of truth steadies your thoughts when mental attacks try to shake you. The breastplate of righteousness guards your heart when doubt whispers. The shield of faith rises when fear creeps in, and the helmet of salvation protects your mind with the certainty of victory in Christ. When you commit to consistency in prayer, and the Word, the sword of the Spirit, comes alive in your decisions and reactions. This is how you close the gaps in your protection and begin overcoming the enemy with real spiritual strength. Living in triumph is not about pretending the fight for your soul doesn't exist. It's about facing it with divine authority, empowered by the Spirit and anchored to an unshakable foundation. You don't have to feel defenseless anymore. You can move through each day spiritually ready, aware of the enemy's schemes, yet confident in the power of truth. And when that becomes your rhythm, you are no longer reacting to battle. You are truly armed for victory.